Good morning, my friends. Jacob Israel is here once again for another extraordinary out-of-this-world live broadcast. I'm so happy that all of you are here. I hope that you are all very excited because we have quite a bit to get into today. So do me a favor, do the old let me know in the chat whether or not the sound is good, because we got to get this party started, people. We got to get it started in a big, mighty way. Broadcast. I'm happy everybody's here. We got a lot of people here already. Do me a favor, hit that like, and let's get everything rocking and rolling. Let's get a lot of people in here for this one, because it's a strange one. It's a strange one for sure. AI Day, huh? How many of you watched that awesome thing that was brought to you by Tesla and Elon Musk? I hope you got to watch it. If you didn't, don't worry about it, because I'm gonna basically break everything down for you. But I'm gonna break down a lot more than just that, because as things happen and unfold before my eyes, and I get these little breadcrumbs, these little things thrown my way, like, hey, look at this, Jacob. I don't know whether it's, some kind of program that's like putting things in front of my face, or whether it's God. I think God is always behind everything. We have a mystery unfolding here before our eyes. A big mystery, and it ties into everything that's happening today in the world. This little event, which was really not a little event at all, it was a huge event showing off this humanoid robot, which many say is going to, it's going to change the world. They're estimating that, about 1 million are going to be in people's homes in a short period of time. And Elon Musk even said that it's going to be less than a car. It's a big deal. He did a great job with this. Did a great job with this presentation. He did not disappoint. I'll tell you what, let me just show this to you. Before we get into the ins and the outs, I'm telling you, this has to do with so much stuff. We're talking like aliens. We're talking out of this world stuff. We're talking world events. Everything's connected, and it's crazy. I titled this, Who Watches the Watchmen? There's a show that was on HBO based on a graphic novel, great graphic novel called The Watchmen. Oh, wait till we get into this. I was excited. Let's take a look at the presentation, though. Let's take a look here. Let's play this so just you can get an idea. I'm just going to lower the volume. Here's the robot coming on out. Now, this was supposedly the first time that it did this without being tethered. What tethered means is so that if it, falls over, it's going to break. So they had it connected to a cable. In the presentation, they showed everything that it does. It's going to be working in the factories. It already is kind of doing tasks here and there. But this is quite an achievement for, I think it was like less than 6 months they put this thing together. Last year when Elon came out and they had the dancing robot guy in a suit, some people say that maybe, it was a little more than just a guy in a suit. Maybe they're a little farther ahead than they're letting on. But here you go, doing a couple of dance moves for you. There's just go to Elon's page or go to the Tesla on Twitter. You can watch this, or just go to YouTube. You can actually watch the whole event. There's a lot of technical stuff involved with this. As you see, he's pointing out some of it right now. But it's quite fascinating. Really is quite fascinating. And something that we all should pay attention to. Because, if we're going to have, I don't know, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of these around the world, the idea is to make these, mass produce them, right? So that everybody can have them, to do meaningless tasks and everything else. What if there's more? What if these robots have another plan? What if there's something more to it than just dancing and putting their hands up in the air and doing the lambada? What if there's more? Okay, so that was basically the first version. How many people in the chat? Anybody watch this? Let me know, because I'd like to see how many of you are keeping up with all of this kooky stuff. Because it's going to get a lot more shocking in a short period of time. And I'm sorry if I came on a little bit late. We got a lot going on, and a lot of things have to kind of get into place for me to come on here and do this show, because all of this stuff really came to me yesterday. A lot of it as I was putting it together. So this is the new and improved version. So basically there's going to be different models. That first one that comes out is, the first one that came out. This is like kind of the version 1. This will be version 2. And a lot of people are making a big deal out of this belt buckle, that there's a star on there. They say, oh, it's the pentagram, but it's not upside down. Who knows? But a lot of people, for some reason, they're focused on the belt buckle. I don't know. I actually wrote that I thought that this whole thing was kind of terrifying, but a really cool picture. I mean, that is kind of a cool picture. Look at Elon with his shoulder on top of the Autobot. Optimus. Oh, good grief. This is so interesting to me. So he said that this is going to be the future, right? He says they're going to eventually cost less than a car, and he threw out a number, and his number was like less than $20,000. That's still a lot of money. Okay, I mean, it's like a lot of money. A lot of money to most people, especially today, because of course, inflation and everything else. I don't know. This is the first time in my life that I'm back on like I got to worry about credit again. It's very strange. For years, I've been, I'm very frugal, and I try to live within my means. But now the means are extraordinarily more expensive. And I'm not just talking about gas. Everything is just so much more expensive. They say that it takes 400 something extra dollars a month or a week or something kooky like that for just the average family to make it. Something's got to give. But I do feel like there's more to what is being told. It's like they're all setting this up for something, right? What are they setting this up for? Total and complete control? When I started talking on this channel years ago about the days to come, one of the things that I said was going to happen was that it was going to get more and more constrictive, kind of like a python coming around and, slowly squeezing you till you felt like you had nowhere to go. And here's the thing. Does that mean that we then just become slaves who have no hope in the world? Or does it mean that it gives us an opportunity to be free? Because when Israel was set free from Egypt, Ramesses II, the Pharaoh with Moses, they were scared. It was, they had like all these plagues came on the land, one thing after another thing. It was terrifying. The world was a scary place. And then when they ran, instead of staying, they were being chased. It was not the best time. These robots are just part of the puzzle, a big puzzle that we're going to unravel a little bit of today. Of course, Elon, being the jokester that he is, they were having fun. They were doing some like tequila shots. I was going to share some pictures of it afterwards. They had like a little joke every time you say software 2.0. Because this is a big thing, because they talked about more than just the robots. They talked about their new supercomputing AI power and all of this, and it was very interesting. The Q&A was pretty enlightening as well. But of course, Elon made jokes about how I'm sure people are going to find a lot of interesting ways to use the Optimus, and they said there's going to be a lot of different skins for Optimus, and he was obviously hinting at naughty stuff, because because Naughtius Maximus. And here he tweets out a picture of there's going to be a Catgirl version that for some reason I could not for my life seen this picture before, and I can't for my life track it down. But who knows? Maybe it's a Mandela. Maybe we've all been doing this again and again and again. Who knows? Hey, listen, the robot. The robot, as cool as it was, not quite as advanced as like some of the Boston Dynamic robots, which they've been at it for a long time, probably cost a lot more. And one of the points that Mr. Musk made was that where these robots are going to be few and far between, Tesla bot is going to be Optimus is going to be mass produced. But I don't know if you remember Boston Dynamics and how great it was. I mean, here's like a picture. I'm just going to, I guess you can hear the sound on this. This is it running through, I mean, quite a bit more agile. It doesn't have any fingers, you'll notice. You know, they're the ones also, they have that Spot, the dog, that they now mounted firearms on. Very spooky how far we've come. The world we're living in, it's like a big movie. It's a big, big movie. And we're all the leads. This is strange. I wouldn't want to face one of them. I wouldn't want to face one of them, especially if these things, gain general intelligence, where they become self-aware. Whew, that would be a problem. Here's another thing that was a little bit of a problem. Okay, so as you know, everybody kind of waits on things for Elon to tweet out because then it becomes major news, right? And I'm doing a whole show about this, so I'm guilty as charged as well when it comes to being he's I'm not going to say the smartest man in the world. We're going to get there. It has something to do with Watchmen, you'll see. But he's known to be probably the most forward-thinking futurist, a mover and shaker. He's doing more than anybody's doing. He's like it's Tony Stark, but seems even cooler, in a roundabout way. But a lot of people wanted to talk about this picture. It's just interesting. I don't know if this was like kind of a troll where he was sending out just to mess with people. Because clearly the idea is they're making the I love you sign, supposedly. That's the idea, right? Because, of course, the robot hands in the background are making the big heart, and which I think is funny because, if it's our demise, I think that it's, not a lot of love going on if the robots are going to, take over or be part of some kind of cleanup expedition that happens after something else. I don't know. I'm a writer. My mind wanders and people say things to me in the background. So many people are so scared and they send me such freaky information. But I thought that it was strange. That's why I put this guy, the bottom, I don't know, I think it's the bottom right-hand corner. But I put him on the thumbnail so that everybody could see that it's pretty clear that the dude is not making the I love you sign right there. It looks a lot like that Baphomet sign, if you know what I mean. The I love you sign, very different in sign language. This is what the I love you sign looks like, okay? So if you want to know, that was the hand sign that they should have all been making, and then it wouldn't have been as sus, man. This dude looks like, let me see if I can enlarge it. He looks like he's making it like flat out. Here you go. He's at a Dio concert or something. Ronnie Dio, the people think he was a Satanist. He's a lot of weird stuff going on. Celebrities. We have so many celebrities that do this. And of course, Elon, he had his sign going. Whatever. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what that's all about. No one likes to be out. People have problems. I don't like the secret club stuff. I'm not a big fan of the secret club stuff. So if there's something going on, like you see the celebrities, they all make these signs. Like, why has that got to be the thing that is put out? I get it. It was a clever picture. You got the whole crew. He shared it out with a black heart, which is interesting. He's a funny guy, Who knows if what he's doing is just kind of a goofy thing, or who knows if there's more to it. You got to tell me. I mean, it just seems a little weird that this is how you follow it up. Just weird. Just weird, the whole thing. But, it's not as weird as some of the other things that people were, because here you have this great advancement in technology, and most people are just talking about how great Elon looked, and he did. He looked great. He even tweeted out a little goofy picture of a T-Rex taking a shower. You smash arms so hard that you can't even wash your hair. I know that feeling. I've been there. I'm going there after after I do this show. I'm going to be at the gym doing all this. It's a good thing. This is the thing that I said. I actually, because if you remember a while ago, there was a picture going around of him where I guess he was on vacation. Poor guy, right? He's just trying to enjoy himself. Someone snapped a picture of him, and he looked out of shape. Okay, he didn't look terrible, but everybody was really going off on him. Everybody thought it was a big funny thing to really make fun of this guy. This guy who says he's working very hard to try to save humanity. I don't know if that's the case, or enslave humanity. I don't know. You gotta. I don't know the man's heart. I always hope that a person is kind. I pray that he is, especially when you have this much power, this much control. But who knows, right? So anyway, I tweeted out. I did a little ad because it's motivation. I had a picture once, like a picture where I looked so much worse. I should see if I could pull it up and show it to you. When Ethan was born, I was heavy. I was like 200 and almost 60 pounds. I'm 200 pounds now. That's 60 pounds of, fat, that I got rid of just by doing simple things. So a lot of people noticed that he was looking better. And he says that embarrassing hose down photo was highly motivating, to be honest. God bless him. We want people to live healthy and to be healthy. When you're nonstop, if you're not taking care of this, the gift that God is giving you as a human, the human body. Hamlet says, "Oh my goodness, what a piece of work is man! How infinite and the capability, the fact that you can do this with your fingers, and look at how hard it is for them to create this robot to do the same." They spent, I don't know, almost half an hour explaining how just the hands work. Very interesting. It's a good thing to get yourself in shape. If you can eat healthy and you can be a little healthier, I say good for you. It'll also make you a little happier too. The scripture says bodily exercise profits little, but little is much. Little is much when God is involved. So here's the thing, and this was I guess, I don't know. I guess he has a master plan. And Machachek, I don't speak French, so I don't know. I know menage a trois means like, having naughty things with more than one person. And I think that means having naughty things with three people. But there's a master plan, He came up with this and he told everybody, here's how it's going to happen. Here's the timeline of how it's going to happen. Everybody was like, yeah, right, whatever. But the master plan is all about tonnage. Okay. Or is it about an alien invasion? Is it about that? Because this was just a little while ago, too. What if Elon Musk is an alien and Optimus bots are the alien invasion? Elon's reply, Optimus will be sick with 3 Ks. Probably should have added a 4th just for the people in the peanut gallery not to say anything. But weird, right? Weird. Like, I guess he's making jokes. He's making jokes. But should we be concerned? Should we be concerned about the master plan where now we're going to have robots all over the place that, he can control? He said, don't worry, there's some kind of an off switch. Everybody will have maybe a little key fob or something where if the robot does something bad, you just shut it down. And they're going to create it in a way where the robot can't figure out how to, steal the key fob back or something. And that there will be like a shut off online or something. Because, of course, if we get some kind of quantum intelligent AI, a human's master plan, I'm sure they could never figure out. That's a joke. I'm being ironic because to think that we can create something with far vast superior knowledge and intellect than mankind. Some people say that it's already happened because back in, was it just 2019 or so? Google announced quantum supremacy and the Great Red Dragon announced it. Quantum supremacy, that's huge. That's huge. And then we got on Halloween, not to make jokes or anything about the fact that it's like, what a weird day to choose for your Neuralink show and tell. Show and tell. It's interesting. Show and tell. All of this is happening. This is going to happen on October 31st, excuse me, Halloween of all things. Just 1 month from, his AI day. Oh, Genius at Birth, and thank you for the super chat. I love the support that you all bring to the table. Thank you for always being there. Hey, do me a favor. We got like less than half of you have hit the like button. It's a simple thing that you can do. And if you could just do me a favor and just X out of chat and hit the like, you know what that does? It helps me. And how does it help me? Because it tells YouTube recommend this to more people. And then more people see it. And then more people will click on it and watch it. As it is, it's hard enough because what happens is after I do the show, I'll have double, sometimes triple the amount of views. But, YouTube only shows a small portion of that. And I always tell my wife, I say, it's, such a bummer that I have, after this show, I'll have maybe 10,000 to 15,000 views after one show. But it'll only show like 5, 7. Like, wouldn't you rather click on something that has 15,000 views than something that has 5? Because you think, wow, look at that. It must be a good show. So they're not going to show the views, but the likes are important. They help, sharing the channel around, sharing the link to other people. It helps. And it's such a blessing to me, and I'm so grateful to it. So grateful for all of you that do that. And thank you, Big Oak Farm. I'm grateful for your support. He says he's grateful for, or she says, the insight and perspective. But this is a big deal. The Grand Master Plan, in effect, important, but it is important to note. And this seemed like a sincere tweet. We haven't even gotten to the cool part yet. That's why I leave the great stuff for the end, because that's when a majority of the people are here. So get them all here, will you? It's important to note that he sounds sincere in this right here, where one person was saying he's really trying to do his best for humanity. He wants, he loves humanity. And Elon responded, I'm trying my hardest. Perhaps more people might consider loving humanity too. Our collective light of consciousness is a tiny candle in a vast darkness. Please don't let it go out. He's making it sound like he's concerned about everything going bye-bye. Please don't let it go out. That's like you're worried, right? That's what it sounds like. Another character was worried about some kind of terrible WAR with those big ones going off all over the world. With right now we have 2 countries. We're on the edge, right? We're on the edge. This is no wonder. Please don't let it go out. It's no wonder everybody's freaking out. It's no wonder even the Pope. The Pope, he went on like this tweet rampage. Let me see if I can pull that up and I can just show you. But it's important to note that, it seems like he does, from his words alone, care. That would be a good thing. Now, is it an impossibility that he's, not part of some secret, terrible club who has ulterior motives and is hiding in the shadows what's really going on? God knows. And I have a little hashtag, if they be corrupt, it'll be revealed. It'll be revealed, But yeah, a lot of people are very, very stressed out about the world the way it is right now. One of them is the Pope. He went like, look at this. I mean, he usually tweets out like once a day, and he did it in obviously these languages as well. But I mean, he was just nonstop yesterday, like one after the other, like in a panic, like a frenzy of tweets. It was very strange. Very strange. I don't really consider him to be someone that I say, he's probably a good guy, because just the obscene things that the religious system has done, the terrible things that the religious system has done, especially that one, it's very obvious. So I always tell people, like Jesus said, he goes, when they say I'm over here or over there, it doesn't mean that someone's saying I am Jesus Christ. I am the Savior of the world. That's not what it really means. What it means is you want to find Christ, you got to go here to this church, or you got to go to this church. Jesus said, look, if they say that, I'm over there or I'm over there, don't go to them. Don't go to them. Because the day that Christ comes, it's like lightning from heaven. Everyone knows it. It's in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, it happens. And I'm not talking about being poofed away. I'm talking about the stuff that goes on within that moment, that rapture, being taken from the lies that we've believed for so long. And that's going on. It's going on for a lot of people. There's always a first stripe, then it'll be for others. Because you want to escape the terrible stuff to come. And I don't mean escape the terrible stuff to come like as in, you're gone and we're up there in the clouds looking down, right? All these things. I have videos on this. I have playlists on this. I have essays on it. Just go to the corner. Just go to jacobisrael.com, subscribe to my website, and read. You could just type in the search bar. I've written thousands of pages explaining things because this is my life's work, to try to bridge the gap between the carnal religious teaching in the world, which keeps us a slave and trapped, and the truth of God, which sets us free. But man, in all of his infinite ignorance, because it seems like there's no end to it, just constantly makes things worse, and sometimes maybe they think things are better. Like this could make things much better for a lot of people. But it could also make things horribly worse. A robot in the home that is advanced artificial intelligence could make things better, but it could also make things horribly worse. They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I think Elon actually even mentioned that. And people do. They kind of wait on his every word. They kind of wait. They get excited about it. There's a crypto coin. Lisa Gordon at Jacob me on this. Have you seen the Elon goat? They spent like $500,000 to promote this cryptocurrency to honor their god of crypto, Elon. So strange. So strange. You know that mankind shouldn't be worshipped as God. You know that a lot of people, that are celebrities and others, they are worshipped. Back in the day, that was idolatry to worship man. They worshiped the stars back then. They worship the stars right now. Same thing. Same thing. It's all witchcraft. It really is. We're all under a spell. They do make all of them like gods in the world, like the pharaohs of old. And who would be the greatest of all? Some say it's him. Giant Elon Musk head by chili whack metal artist, now complete, ready to ship. Could you imagine? Elon hasn't said anything about it, so I would probably be a little upset. I'd be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? People just trying to profit off of you. I don't know. This was actually a tweet out. They really kind of hammered this everywhere. Almost feel guilty for how much fun we're having with Elon Goat. Everything's about the goat, right? Had the goat in the Queen's procession. Goat. The Baphomet. People compare the goat to the Baphomet. Just strange. Just strange. All of the things that are playing out today. And it's strange that people are more concerned and more scared and freaked out than they are excited. They should be excited. Because this is like a time that's, I think, hasn't been. I think that this is, they say there's nothing new under the sun. That's in the book of Ecclesiastes. I think that there's more to what's going on. And I think we're at a very pivotal moment. And I think that we're going to see just such enormous things shaking up in the world that it's going to be terrifying for some, for many, but it's going to be exciting to those that know that God has a plan and a purpose. And it's a chance for us to break free from the little prison cell that we've been in, the little box that we put ourselves in, that we said that this is all we got. We're fighting to hold on to that. Oh, I got to keep that job at the Piggly Wiggly. I better go get what they tell me to get. How many people had to do that? How many people were so scared? So scared. Thank God I left my job before I was in a position where I had to worry about that. Thank God that I had something else. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing that this world can be so constrictive and so cruel, but yet it's a beautiful thing how you can escape from it and be free. You don't have to take that mark, and I'm not talking about a literal thing. You don't have to, you can understand that you're more than just a slave. That's the slogan of my website. You are more than you know. I should make a t-shirt out of that. So as I'm doing everything that I'm doing, and as I'm getting this really cool show together, I get something that just pops up in front of me. And it was a trailer of a scene from the movie Watchmen. Great movie if you haven't seen it. Really great movie. I really enjoyed it. Great director and great cast. Everything about it, I just thought it's probably one of my favorite movies. Probably one of my favorite movies, superhero movies, because it's a little more than that. The premise is in the movie that the world is at the cusp of a big one. Like what's going on right now between, these countries that we're, at odds with and that are at odds with us. Same thing going on in that movie, on the edge. I think that's what everybody was talking about. I don't want to give too much of the movie away, but this guy, his name is Ozymandias. Ozymandias. Oz, like the Wizard of Oz. Man, like man. God. Interesting. So for whatever reason, this pops up in front of me. And I love the movie. So I'm like, hey, let's check this scene out. Not thinking that it's going to be connected. But it was like I was looking at this picture and I'm going, wow, that kind of looks like a Neuralink too. And I go, wow, this guy's the world's smartest man. That's like Elon. He's like the world's smartest man. He was like the guy that everybody loved, followed on all social platforms. They had toys. Everything seemed very suspect to me. So then I had to go and I had to look into it a little bit. I'm going to play a little bit of the trailer for you without playing the music. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of the Pope. All right. And so here he is. Okay, that's Rorschach, and that's so basically they're asking him about this master plan. He's got this, they figured out what he's planning on doing. Notice that he is standing in front of Ramesses, we could say. Because ironically, that's the name for the Pharaoh in Moses' day. Isn't that strange? How it's all tied together. So he's explaining, that this is something that has to be done. And he's going to use a hoax. He's going to hoax an alien invasion. But at the cost of a lot of people are going to pass away because of it. Because the world is on the edge. And like Ronald Reagan said, right? Remember? This guy was also into gene editing and engineering. And if you just take a look, so here's the thing. The plan goes into motion. That's New York City. What does that look like? Something going off in New York City. Very scary. Clock ticking down. And then you go and you take a look. And you see all of these little things. Everybody's talking about war. And what ends up happening? Not good. Not good. Boom. That's Nixon, by the way. This takes place in basically like another reality back in the day. This is a very interesting thing because they were so close to it. World's smartest man, Ozymandias, he thinks this is going to happen. I got the answer. I know how to solve it. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put robots in everybody's home, and I'm going to... No, I'm not saying that. But faking... Look at this. This is strange. Take a look at this. Okay, this is the character. First published back in the day. As I said, it's a graphic novel. You can check it out. DC Comics. And here is what he did. A series of attacks from alien squid. In the movie, they did that, that explosion. But in the book, it's like a genetically altered, like alien squid that comes down. Genetically altered alien squid, which wasn't really alien, but it was genetically altered squid, octopus, squid, taking out 3 million people as part of a bigger plan to avert that. Weird. What's weird to me is that, here, let me just pull this up. Let me come on over here and let me show you. Let's take a look over here for a second. Let's go to my channel and let's take a look at the, let's see, where are the videos? Let's take a look. Oh, you can't, my home page. I wish that they would just show my home page. All right. Well, things like this don't always happen. Octopus and squid is something I've talked about quite a bit on the channel. All right. So, this is nothing new. Octopus and squid are something I've talked about on the channel, and jellyfish. Why? You can go back and find out. But it was in my, like every year, I'm now putting up a, kind of like a, not a prediction video, but like an idea of what the world is going to be like in 2022. And on the cover of the thumbnail, you had Elon, you had, the Trumpster, you had an octopus. You had an octopus too. Which is strange. It is quite strange because we had lawmakers saying that there were these type of creatures in something. Weird, right? Weird. You could read that quick. Weird. Interesting. I did a little research too, and I looked into that. Not into the. I'm not going to get into any of that stuff. Whatever it is, it is. Very strange, though, that Ozymandias has something to do with genetically, altering a squid, octopus, and then you got people talking about altered, like, creatures. But they may not be creatures at all. Could be something else completely. Maybe it's nothing. I don't know. I don't have the inside scoop. But I do know everything that they did was totally sus. And it wasn't right. And it's still not right. Like they still have these dates of man set for, people in the military. So, I think Biden was just congratulating someone for being a hero. And he's going to end up being let go because he hasn't complied. There we go again. Are you going to be in the box or are you going to be set free? And you're going to go out. And it's scary. It's scary because we've trusted in the system for so long. We've put our faith in Egypt. Egypt's been our home for so long, right? Better to be in Egypt than have to work an 80-hour week. No days off in unsafe environments. Some people are doing this. Better to work 3 different jobs because they're not paying enough than to break free. No. Freedom is found. Freedom is found in putting your faith 100% in God and doing the right thing. That's where freedom is found. You want to escape the days to come? That's the way to do it. And it's not going to be found over here in a church, over there in a temple, over there in a mosque. Sure, you could. I'm not saying that it can't be found there, but I'm saying don't think that that's where to go. That's what Jesus was saying. Just because people aren't saying, I am the Lord and Savior, right? Because people aren't saying that doesn't mean that when they're saying this is how you find the Lord and Savior, they could be wrong. They could be making up stories. They could be following a script that's been played out forever. Listen, religion means to bind together, okay? Comes from a Latin word. People are bound up in these nonsense beliefs, seeing God that is just horribly cruel. And I believe that God has an infinite amount of time to get man and his creation where it needs to be. I just would rather get it done sooner than later. I would rather be found to be worthy and to be found in those clouds, which the cloud of witnesses, the witness of God, I'd rather be there than to be, stuck in Egypt with everything that's going down. Ozymandias. The name is it's the Pharaoh. Ramesses II, once again. So strange. A statue was found just recently. But what's weird about this is, here's, let me just show you this. This is the book of Exodus. This is playing out today. I mean, really, like it's literally playing out today. Like, I don't know if you remember, I did shows a little while ago. They did the Pharaoh's Return, where they took all of those pharaohs and they had this big celebration in Egypt. The parade, the gods, the Avenue of the Gods, where they did this huge spectacle where they were just bringing all of the gods back into their, interesting. Is this what's happening here? Are we about to witness yet another plague come on the land, one that was greater than the last? Is it going to be days of darkness? Are we going to have issues with power? Could that be it next? Because there's a spiritual meaning to all of these plagues that came on Egypt. Of course, I have a video on that. Look it up. I have a Bible playlist, or just type in the 10 plagues of Egypt, Jacob, Israel, maybe it'll explained or something. But there's a beautiful message to every one of these plagues. The last one is the death of the firstborn in Egypt. And that's symbolic of dying to our carnal nature. The idea of who we are that was formed and birthed in this beast system. That's the death. But before that is the darkness. The darkness is a time when you know nothing. You realize, I know nothing. And then it's time for us to be set free. Just like Paul. Paul, when he was Saul and he was on the road to Damascus, he was leveled to the ground. A bright light came to him and said, why are you persecuting me? And he had this awakening, and his eyes, he became blind because he realized all the stuff that he studied. He knew everything. He would have did videos about me. Like, I have people doing videos about me saying I'm wrong on this and I'm wrong on that. And then what I'll do is I reach out to them. Like, somebody just thanks to the people that, say, hey, this guy was saying things about you, making fun of you. And it's relatively good sized channel. Just took a couple of swings at me, made fun of the way I talk, made fun of the way I look, and then basically said that everything that I was saying wasn't true. But the irony is, everything he was saying isn't true. Like, and I left a response, and I said, hey, why don't we get together? Why don't we discuss this? If you're going to say that I'm wrong, let's get together. Let's have a show. Let's talk about these things openly. Let the people decide, right? Who knows the scriptures? I study the scriptures not because I believe salvation is found in them. Jesus was very clear. You search the scriptures because you think in them you have eternal life. No, a lot of people think that. You search the scriptures. I understand it, and I search the scriptures so that I can then help people that believe that they take things literally, and they don't understand that there's a spirit. God is spirit. We have to understand the spiritual ramifications of things, and many people have forgotten that. Many people have forgotten that Egypt and Israel and being set free and Moses and Pharaoh, this is happening today. I'm not saying that Elon is Ozymandias, the pharaoh of today that's in charge. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that because, I don't know the man's heart. He seems, from the things that he seems to be just somebody who has a decent sense of humor, who's a mover and a shaker, and he's pretty smart. But Ozymandias was Pharaoh, Ramesses II. That was the day. This is playing out right now. And by the way, if you're watching, and invite me on your show. I would love to discuss. And we can use scripture, and we can let people judge for themselves. Because I think it's a terrible thing to be offering people a lie. I think it's a terrible thing because people you're not going to, let me be clear. We're all going to go through this together. The question is, are we going to go through it with faith, or are we going to go through it as a slave? Are we going to suffer? Are we going to, we may suffer in faith, but in the end, it brings about freedom. You look at Joseph's life. What happened to Joseph? No matter what happened, he always rose above. And then this guy who's in prison, enslaved, this guy who was beaten, lied about, in the end, he was in charge of the world. It's going to happen to you. That's going to happen to me. Anybody who's going to serve God, we're going to become rulers, and we're going to rule and reign with Christ. That's what's going to happen. Ozymandias. Oz. A lot of people were giving Elon a hard time because, of course, that his family, the history has something to do with an emerald mine. Now, there's varying stories about this, but you think of Emerald City, you think of the Wizard of Oz. And so once again, just another interesting connection. It's just strange to me. Because I guess, the Wizard of Oz would be like the Pharaoh back then in the Dorothy's day as well. Also strange is the fact that Ramesses' chief treasurer was just discovered. And everybody's interested in the finance, and everybody's stressed about the finance right now. Weird. All of the Vatican money is going back. It has to be back in October. You know what's a weird thing to me? And I didn't get to include this. Let me see if I can pull it up. Is the story goes that Ozymandias from Watchmen, if you watch the HBO series, he ends up making a deal with Dr. Manhattan. You'll see, it's a whole thing. Dr. Manhattan, he has this experiment, kind of like he gets trapped in a CERN collider type of a thing, and he ends up becoming, like a god. Like he has powers, great powers, like unmatched. And he grows so weary and sad about how terrible the world is that he goes and finds a planet to create a paradise. And he finds Jupiter's moon, Europa, where he builds like a Garden of Eden and clones a bunch of Adam and Eves. It's a very cool show. And once again, all of these things playing out right now. And guess what they just released? Pictures of our closest view of Jupiter's ocean moon, Europa, which, by the way, that's like a shell of ice. They think that there's a possibility that it's teeming with life. They say that it's a possibility. And how wild would that be if Europa has alien octopus and squids that are already invading the planet? I'm not saying that's the case, but you do know that, and you could look this up. You can Google this if you want. That they say octopus, they're definitely from another planet. Some people say that they hitched a ride from a meteor or something, but they're definitely from another planet. Like they don't belong here. That's like fact. That's weird. All of this stuff, I think, is just so incredibly interesting. More interesting is the fact that, yes, there he is. He ends up being sent to Europa, the moon on Jupiter. What are the odds of all of these things happening and coming together in such a way? It just really, really, really gets me to think, wow, this is an exciting time to be alive. Wow, right? Wow. The Watchmen story on Europa. Here's what I was talking about with Dr. Manhattan. Now, why am I telling you all about this? It's because it's an important thing to talk about. It's an important thing to talk about today. Because we don't know what's going on. We got robots. We got AI. We got all sorts of instability in the world. And then here I'm doing a show. And Watchmen comes to me. And there's so many connections to everything that I've been talking about on the channel. A genetically engineered squid, which ends up killing how many people? A lot, millions in this movie, in this book. It's very strange. Europa, all of these things coming together. You know what else is weird? Let me see if I can pull this up while I'm over here. What I think is weird is, you know, I've been talking a lot about that number 60, right? And you know that 60 means a time of mourning. Well, there is an episode of probably just a fantastic show. And it's like premiere episode. It's like best episode. You ever hear Breaking Bad? Let me see if I can pull this up. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to transition this over. So Breaking Bad, turns out, they had an episode called Ozymandias. There it is right there. The 14th episode of the 5th season. And it's the 60th episode of the series. I just thought that was so weird. The 60th episode of the season. So strange to me. Just so strange to me. Aaron Judge, 60, the 60 hits that he was trying to break. It means time of mourning. In Greek, it means the marketplace. Mourning for the marketplace. Mourning in the world. The cover of that Economist magazine cover, he's holding on to the baseball, everything's about Aaron Judge hitting these home runs. Closer to the earth than it's been in 60 years. 60. And then you have Ozymandias, that episode. 60th episode. It's just weird to me. All of this is weird to me. But it gets me excited because I know that there is more to the story than even I know. I don't know much. You know, the scriptures say that we stumble around in darkness. And I feel like that sometimes. So could the smartest man in the world, could he, you know, or the man that people say is, you know, the smartest man in the world, could the most powerful man in the world, is he the most powerful? I don't know. Could he do as Ozymandias did? Could he fake some kind of invasion to save the planet? I'm not saying that he would, but he's got Starlinks everywhere now. And they have lasers, some of them, I heard. It's just a wild time for us all. I'd like to think, and I'm choosing to think, because I don't want to think the worst. That's my problem. I've been working on this a lot. You know, over the years, I've thought the worst about so many things, and it turns out that I was completely wrong. I've misjudged people, been completely wrong. I misjudged somebody who was really excited to get my novel. And I felt like I let them down because they bought the novel, and that's like if you get it from my website, you can get it from Amazon. Because I'd rather the rankings and everything else. I don't care about the money so much. But on my website, you can get the novel for like $5, but it's the first edition. Like that's not available anywhere else. And she was really excited to get the novel and like snapped a picture and showed me because it didn't come over. I write, please allow 24 hours because, you know, I sleep and I actually email it out and I give a little personalized note. But I took it the wrong way. I took it like, oh my God, you know, I failed this person. They're upset. Totally not the case. Something put that thought in my head to think the worst, to steal my joy. We got to stop thinking the worst about people. And that goes for, people like Elon. I want to think the best. I want to believe the best. But when you're doing photo ops and everybody's doing the devil horns when they should be doing the I love you sign, maybe they don't know how to do it, I don't know. Maybe not share that picture. Because then it gets people to question intent. He also let me show you this too. Let me pull this up. This is really cool. Because the Boring Company, he also is trying to take care of traffic issues. The Boring Company, they got this interesting, just machine that kind of just goes underground, kind of does it on its own and then just reappears when it's done. It's very interesting. And he actually, I don't know if you saw it, but he shared, let me see if I can find, maybe I can pull this up. He actually shared videos of it. Let's take a look here. Oh, that was them doing their shots every time. You say 2.0. I think it was just recently. I like this one too. It says traveling. Like as if he's really from another planet. And he was just going to another place. He could be, who knows? He could be on Europa right now, like Ozymandias. And, because of the satellites, he could just be tweeting from there. Who knows? It's all perspective. So let's see, where is that video? Because here it is. How cool is this?
Company.
Look at this, and he's with his kids.
We're here at the Boring Company.
That's a normal day, right? Yeah, let's go to the backyard. Let's just go to the backyard as it comes up from the ground. So strange. So strange. He also had a tweet out that I wanted to talk about because it was actually I actually addressed it. Hang on, let's see here if I can come on over here. Tweets and replies. Hey, that's me and the Dan. We went out for dinner the other night. She's so pretty, right? She's beautiful. That's my lady. I love her so much. She's my best buddy. I'm really a lucky guy, Here's the thing that I was saying about Joseph earlier, too. Joseph was a slave and a prisoner, yet, because he honored God daily, the man who had nothing but his relationship with God was put in charge of all of Egypt, all of it. God hasn't given up on any of us. We're just waiting for the moment God calls us to rule and reign with Christ. Oh, here it is. Don't let ancient grudge break to new mutiny. Okay? So I wrote, or a new grudge. Let us forgive and love each other. Let's pave the way to a better and brighter day, thinking better of each other and letting go of foolish disputes. But he was actually Now, I got to tell you, Elon, very well read. Because that's from, I studied Shakespeare because I was an actor. That's from Romeo and Juliet. That's like in the very first scene. Because there were two feuding factions. Between the Montague and the Capulets. The first scene in Act 1, two servants were fighting. Great. If you've never watched Romeo and Juliet, you should. But I wrote hashtag Anunnaki feud because I think it's funny to believe that perhaps aliens are waging war over this planet, and it's really a prison planet. Like that movie Jupiter Ascending, which didn't get great reviews, but had a really cool concept. That we're like a farm. That's not good. So, I don't know. Listen, enjoy your lives. Be kind, love, forgive. Please pray. And by pray, I don't mean, say, our Father who art in heaven. You can say that if you want. Just talk to God, right? Talk to God just on your own. No one needs to know. You can do it in your head. You don't got to tell anybody that you're asking. You don't got to tell anybody that you're seeking. But do seek. Do try to be better. Do try to lift other people up. I promise you, if you see somebody and you just smile or wave, that little simple act of kindness and generosity could make all the difference in the world. Could change the world, like the butterfly effect. Butterfly flaps its wings here, creates a typhoon somewhere else. do a good deed. Maybe the world will be better. I want everybody to be ready for whatever is to come. I don't want you to think the worst. I don't want you to worry about the worst, but I want you to know that you got to be able to trust in God's plan for your life, regardless of what it looks like. Know that whatever you do, God's got you. Just don't do anything bad, because then you're going to be corrected for it. All right, I'm going to get going. I hope this was just kind of a cool show. I thought it was a cool show. Very interesting. Watch that movie, The Watchmen, if you get a chance. It's really interesting. It's just really interesting because could you imagine if there was some kind of alien invasion? What would that do with the disputes going on in all of these different areas of the world? Would humanity come together like Ozymandias wanted? I don't know. But I love you. Do me a favor, like this video, share the video around, subscribe to the channel. I say this all the time. Check to make sure you're still subscribed. You'll go back and you'll say, wow, I was unsubscribed. I can't believe it. YouTube unsubbed me. It happens. Check the bell for notifications so you get notified. Or just go into the description of the video, hook up with me on Telegram, which is just basically all I do is I just post the shows. It's not like a conversation. I set it up the wrong way. It's just a way to get alerted to when the show's coming out, or Twitter or Facebook. Those are the areas where I'm active the most. Patreon, I've become a lot more active on. I'm trying to do something more there. So if you want to become a patron, that means a lot. And for those of you that do support the channel financially, thank you. If I missed anybody in the super chat, let me come on over and say goodbye. Let me just make sure. I really apologize because sometimes I still don't know how to work things. I still don't know how to work things. I'm still, just a meatball. I'm just a meatball who loves God. All right. I love all of you. I'll talk to you soon.